welcome ladies and gentlemen. We're down in the South Arms today, down at Start Point. Now, high water was first thing this morning, but because of where I'm looking, I was in between deciding where to go. I thought Salcombe, we went the other day. After watching the video, was a lot of bites what we seem to have missed. If I scaled down to size 4, size 6 hooks, we'd had a lot more fish, but a lot smaller. But that's the joy of it. We're out here specimen at the other end of the day. But the mark I'm come to now, it looks like it's had anglers on here already this morning. But I find personally, I'm giving a lot away here, I've fished this mark a lot over the years for rays, for place, for smooth hound, a lot of different types of species as I was growing up through. And what I find is, especially where we are today, we could have gone the opposite side onto maximum side, which we would have been out the wind a little bit more. But the breeze, the headland's protecting us a little bit, and I find low water down here can be really good. And I think a lot of the beach marks, the fish tend to hold up into the bay here, and then obviously as the tide starts to flood in again, they sort of like make their way back through. You've got a chance of catching anywhere along here. There's a lot of rock marks and stuff. Some of it's rough ground, some of it's clean ground. The joy of it is basically to come down and do a bit of homework. That's what I had to do around this stretch of the coastline growing up. I mean, it's a very hard part of the coastline to fish start. However, for those that put the time in, it's definitely worth the reward. But as I said, it's not guaranteed. Certain tides are fish better than others, and you just got to, at the end of the day, a lot of people watching the videos and stuff will pick up the venues we're fishing. But it's not the case of going down here just for that reason. Just let's go fishing, let's go down there. The reason we've gone down to certain areas and that is down to tides and weather, if I'm honest, and the time of year and stuff like that. But as I said, it's not just a case of going fishing. Sometimes it's a bit of knowledge to where to go and why you're going, because that can make the difference between catching or not. But I'm going to try and set this up a little bit higher if I can. We have got a little bit of rough ground in where we're fishing, so it can be mixed ground, and the trouble is with that, I've got 2 reels. I've got 20-pound line, I've got 15-pound line today, and I don't really want to use my 15s because we were undecided where to go. As I said, I was thinking about going down to Salcombe again, but we went down there the other day, a lot of smaller fish, and I thought, you know what, we have got a chance. There's been a couple of decent ones coming off B-sands in the last couple of weeks. You have got a chance of getting that beast. So the travel rods are away today, and out come the T9s. So as I said, guys, in my opinion, not for everyone. As I said, it's sort of like at the higher end of the it's like a high range rod, really. It's a magical bit of kit, a work of art, and I feel it's not for anglers just starting off fishing. You can use it, but to get the full reward out of this rod, you need to get into the midsection. And if you can get into the midsection, you're laughing with this rod. But I've got a pair of them here today, so I'm going to put my other bits and pieces down there for the minute. We have got a gaff with us as well, because you never know what you can catch. I mean, I've done a session down here one day. The condition of the water was absolutely perfect for it, and I mean perfect. You couldn't have asked for better. And we went down here, me and Lee Treby, and I had a double-figured huss every single cast, just under the 15-pound mark. I actually lost bigger that day. It was just one of those red letter days, if I'm honest, which we all like when they happen. But the other thing I wanted to ask you guys is, how are you enjoying these longer productions? I mean, I can shorten it down a little bit, but I feel when I try and, like I was doing the PLAICE episode, it's like 2.5 hours long. And what I found is it was hard to edit because I've done that much footage. I thought it's just wasted, and a lot of it is good information for people starting out fishing. So yeah. Anyway, bit out of breath. Bit of a walk down here. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my phone on silent. So good thing about it is down here as well, you do get signal. sun's out, which is nice as well. Can change the hat for a baseball cap. Lovely. And then we can look at getting some rigs on. So we've got the rig wallet there. I've got my Super Tunes down today. I don't think I'm going to use them because they're loaded with 15-pound mainline, and all it takes is one nick and they're gone. So I'm going to probably use my 20s, depending how we get on. If I can get it to hold later on the incoming, I may switch and just get a bit more distance, but that's what they're there for really. And then I've got my leads and we've got the bait. So first off, reels. So a lot of people do different. I've got a pair of Pen Fathom 15s, the originals, with the new Gomez handles. I went through them the other day. They're magged, in my opinion, one of the best reels on the market. They've actually been discontinued really, the old ones. I think the Mark 1s are better than the Mark 2s if I'm honest. But if you're lucky enough to find a pair, get on them. So that was already up there like that. I'll get the rod set up first, guys, and then we'll move on. But if I put that in down there, try not to scratch these babies. As I said, I've had the T9s a couple of times over the years, and I was just looking for something with a glass tip as well. And every time I get rid of them, I always regret it. And as I said, I'm a big lover of lots of rods. The Zolkron range, Century range, the Ziplex range. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a rod for every type of job in there. And I find sometimes, especially where we're fishing at the moment, it's a mixed ground. Sometimes you need a bit of bullying power and power. So that's that one there, that's that set up. Get this one here set up as well now. What a lovely start to April. Bit of sunshine. We got a little bit of rain in between, but unfortunately it's something we've got to live with. I hope everybody's having a lovely weekend. Probably going to get this production midweek or towards the start of the week. Having said that, if we do strike gold today, guys, and it does fish well for place and we get what we want, it'll probably be a couple of weeks before it goes on. And the reason I've got to do that is because if I wanted to come back here in the midweek, I wouldn't get on here. It'd just be rammed. And unfortunately, over the years, I've sort of played around with it, with like not giving marks out and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, the whole point of the video is to help people and help local anglers and that as well. And you're down to help everyone. A lot of the anglers or local can benefit a lot more from obviously the knowledge and to where the marks are. I mean, they're not hidden marks. A lot of people know this mark. I've done videos down here before, but at the same time, you want to make sure you can use your own fishing. What was that? Something just fell down. I thought it was seagull poo, but I'm glad it's not. I'm hoping it's not. No, it's not. Got some lovely rag yesterday from Paint and Bait and Tackle. I'll show them now. Have a look at these, guys. Have a look at these. Look at that. Lovely prime ragworm. Ready to rock and roll. Joseph gets out what we got there as well. We've also got some blacks. We've got some sand eel there for tipping off. Got some squid tentacles. We've got some leftover rag. We've got some pilchards. We've got a bit of everything really. So that's the bait. So next point of call is rigs. It's got the rig wallet there, full of place rigs. So I've got some drop downs. I've got some running up and overs, and I've got a couple of pulleys in there. I've got these weights what I got from Southwest Sea Baits the other day. They're quite nice actually. I'm going to use them today on there. So my first one, I'm going to put on a, don't know what to use to be honest. I might go for an up and over rig. I am going to go for an up and over rig. What size should I go for? I'll tell you what, I'm just going to use this, what we used it yesterday, or the day before. So I've got running up and over there. I was playing around because I didn't know what I actually done wrong there. That's a nightmare because I'm, oh, there you go. That's where it went. Never had an imp there then, guys. Now, a lot of people use different clips and stuff like that, but I love the imps. Imps are probably one of my favourite bits of components. I find they work lovely. There you go. So that is the rig basically. It's a running up and over rig. So it just gives, even if that goes tension straight away, it allows the fish to take it back before it goes off. I've had a lot of fish over the years on these. I actually won the PLAICE championships many years ago with this rig, with baited with crab. But that's it basically. So what I can do there then is I can set that one there up. Now, somewhere, if I have a look correctly, I have a baiting needle, which I will need. And I also need a pair of scissors, which I think are in the cool bag. So I've got a cool box with this, a couple of little cool packs in the top just to keep the bait nice and fresh. Got the rag there, got my scissors and bait elastic, which I'll put down on the floor there. And I've also got some blacks there, which I'll use for teeing off. So I'll get one of them out now. Get these online from Hooker's Baits, and as you can see, lovely and fresh, just kept in the cool bag there. Just keep that done up for the day. So let's get started. So first thing, I need a couple of ragworm. I'll tell you what, this rag is lovely. Look at that. Perfect. So get that on there. Sun's out. Water clarity's clear. So we've got that on our side at the minute. Not to say that will be it all, because sometimes you need a little bit more than that on your side, as we all know. But all right, mate?
All done.
All done? Okay, so that's the rag. And then what I'll do is I'll get my rig now, which I've got there. Now, the joys of using a baiting needle, you've got a hole at the top. A lot easier for people starting out, because what you can do is you just hold it and just bring it around onto the hook, and it only leaves a little bit of couple, as I said the other day, a couple of attractors on there really. Okay, pulled down like that, and then that basically, guys, is my rig, like so. What I will do now is pull that up slightly, okay, and then what I tend to do, not everybody does this, a lot of anglers will, is basically put the next one on, but I put it on with my hands because I don't want all of it to go through. You can put it with a baiting needle, it's got to be watched very carefully when you're doing this so you don't stab yourself. So that goes in like that. And then what I'll do is I'll come up halfway through the worm. I'll leave it dangling down like so. Okay, so you've got the hook point there, and the worm's all out on it. So that's basically the bait up, my first bait up there now. Okay, so I've got that set up, so I can clip that straight on to my first rod. So if I come down to here, clip on like so. Nightmare. Sun's in my eyes a little bit then. Okay, so that's the first one. Now what I found is the other day, I've just pulled these clips out a little bit, just so when it goes, it drops straight away. Okay, so that there is my first one. I have somewhere got a baiting towel. I don't know if Joseph's robbed it, is he? No, he's not. He's left it there. So I'll get this one done up now, and then we'll get baited up, and we'll get one out there. Let's check the ratchets done. Yeah, got a bit of side windy at the minute. So that's loads and loads of side wind. And I mean loads of side wind. So I'm just trying to pick that line up. That's picked up. Now I've gone to the more towards the rougher ground there at the minute on the right. Just for the simple fact that we know where we are. So hopefully between me and Joseph now, we've got clean ground to the left. But we have got loads and loads of slack come off then. So we'll probably have to put a fixed lead on in a minute on one of them and fish a bomb lead each, which isn't perfect. But at the same time, you want to make sure we're not getting tangled up and stuff. So that is the first one out. Okay. So it's your glass tip as well there at the minute. So how's yours? Have you got grip on one? Or both plain?
Quite plain, they're not moving.
Not moving? That's ideal. So hopefully we haven't got a lot of movement there. You want a bit of tide though, so hopefully as that tide starts to drop, we'll get a bit more tide in there then. But yeah, lovely. So back to the drawing board. Back to the drawing board. So I'm going to fish on this one here. I'm going to fish a pulley rig, I think. I am. I'm going to fish a pulley. So, I had fish on this the other day. And hopefully it pays off for me again today. Who knows? A little bit of rain coming through now, guys, unfortunately. But it's one of them things we've all got to put up with. So, that's ideal. Okay guys, so we have got the weather coming in a little bit on us at the minute, which isn't fantastic, but part and parcel of being out, I suppose. We can put up with it, Right, so I need to find my baiting needle again now, don't I? There it is. So what I'm going to do, show you what I'm doing with these now. It's just a bit simple case of putting that through the worm like so. Running it right down through the ragworm, so it goes up onto that. As I said, these rag are lovely, proper nice. Exactly the same again, sort of like grip them and then just feed them all the way down like so. I leave a little bit hanging out the end, just so that will be a bit of an attractor. I'm not going to use massive baits on these today. Hooks are offset. Just do that with a pair of pliers. And then I'll bring that around like that. And I'll do that also, like so. And then I'll leave that hook point down like that. And we'll just put, simple. So I've literally done there then is just left the worm dangling like that. Put that back in, put all the bait back into the cool bag here now. As you can see, I've got the ice packs which go in the top like so, and it just zips up and it just keeps everything fresh for the session. Quite pleased with these. Let's do that up a minute. Like so. Do you know what I hate doing? And I don't know if it's a myth, but I've washed my hands since, but I went and fueled up with fuel. And I hate doing it before I go fishing because I don't like to have it on my hand, but I've washed it off as best I can. And I can't smell it. So sometimes a lot of people will say it makes a difference, and I believe it does. I mean, if you've got that sort of stuff going onto the bait and stuff, I know it's going out to sea, can be washed off, but it could make a difference to catching or not. So it's definitely something to think about. Sort of like an old fisherman's myth, but There you go. I am gonna play around with this a minute. I'm not happy with it at the end of that bait. In that pot, I have got a bit of black lug. So I'm gonna tip it off with a bit of black on the end of that. Okay. I've got one here actually. So I'm going to leave that dangly attractor. Then I'm going to put this bit of black on. I'm going to go up through like that. Pull it through the side. Right. I'm going to bring it up to the top of the shank. That's all I'm doing. And I'm going to use a bit of bait elastic. So if I do this properly. I'll dangle down. As I said, guys, we're not fishing for little plaice here. If I was to put size 4, size 6 hooks on, you'd get plagued with little fish. And you probably get loads like we did the other day when we were down Salcombe. But I'm not fishing for that. I'm fishing for that one big 2 or 3 pounder, 4 pounder even. And sometimes you can go up to size 2 hooks. But I just feel sometimes with a 2 hook, you're putting off the 2 pound fish as well. So that's what I tend to fish. I mean, that backet, you get that back, the fish's his mouth is hooked up straight away. So let's get another cast out now. So what I tend to do is make sure everything's free and untangled before hooking him up. All right, so that'll sit lovely in the tide now, the lead like that, and then the pulley part will just sit there flapping away in the tide. Perfect, really. So let's have a look, see if we can get one out. Is that what's left here?
Yeah.
Right, guys, 2 seconds. Joseph, hold that. This is what we've got to put up with, right? And it's just lazy. Joseph just picked that up from Anglers, what's been here previously. It looks like, I'm not sure what line it is. It looks like it's faded. There's bits of green in there, so I do think, yeah, it's a green line. So it does look like that sort of stuff. But what I'm going to do, luckily, I've got my packed lunch bag. So I'm going to basically put my packed lunch in my rucksack, and we're going to put that in it. Between me and Joseph, if we get any leftover line, or we get bird's nest, or we get any bits and pieces, we'll use that throughout the day. Joseph's got probably a bag there as well. That'll go in at the end, and that'll go in the bin. Just pick it up, guys. It's not hard. I mean, I was watching Mark do a video down Staro yesterday, and exactly the same. It's he was saying about it. To be honest, I never seen it because I was on a different rock than Joseph, so I said it looked quite clean because it did. But when I went up to see Joseph, I didn't notice afterwards there was a lot of rubbish, general like paper and different stuff. I can look around now, I can see more like a sandwich wrapper and that. It's just not needed. I mean, it just gives people a bad name, and especially anglers. I know most of the time down here, it's not going to be walkers and stuff. It's just anglers on the rock. So just pick it up and take it home. It's not hard. So, just going to set my reel up a minute because that one has run up for letter 1. That's lovely. Okay. All right, let's give it a go then, lads, eh? Let's give it a go. See what we can get out here today. Right over that tide line. That was punched right into the wind, that. So, I'm hoping, yeah, that should be all right, that. It should be all right. Just tightening up that slack there now. And that is all set up and fishing. Took, I don't know, say 10 minutes to get properly set up. Half the time it don't take that long. It's most of the time, obviously now it's filming in between and stuff like that, but you just set up, you're ready to go. We're going to fish down to low water, we're going to fish back up to high, and hopefully we can see a few fish out today. So you can just make out on the top there, top of the lighthouse, that start point. So we're just down off the left hand side into the bay towards B Sands. As you can see, it's a lovely day. Looks like there's a couple of anglers on B Sands itself. Don't look that busy. I can only see a couple of beach buddies there. Then you go down into Hall Sands and you've got these little marks on the left hand side there. Don't know if you can pick it up. There's some rocks in there. Looks like there's a couple of anglers on them. Now that there can be very productive. It's a certain time of year and stuff, especially for spotties. You go down there, you'll see the spotties. It's a difficult mark to get to. But it's another one what I used to fish back in the day and see spotties and that out of. It also pulls out smooth hound and it also pulls out small hides. And I've seen smooth hounds off there to about £9 and in the past. And yeah, there's a little beach down there as well. I don't know if you can pick that up. That can be quite productive in rougher weather for bass. And yeah, so basically you can see some guys at the top looking down by the gate there now. There's a car park up the top. It takes, I would say, 15 minutes to get down, maybe. And then it probably takes you an hour to get back up. But, Joseph, what do you think for the first time on the mark, mate? I'll come over.
Comfortable.
Comfortable?
Yeah, it's a comfortable mark.
It's, yeah, it's, I wouldn't say it's that bad to get down, is it?
No, it's not horrendous.
You need a little bit of fitness to get back up, but it's got a rope put in now, what makes it easier.
I mean, getting up's going to be a bit difficult.
Yeah. I just tend to go for it. Just go straight up, get it over and done with, and it's done. But it's, as I said, guys, it's quite early. So we could blank here today. We could blank. It's a possibility. But with the water as like it is, you've always got a good chance. It's not crystal, but it's clear. And you've also got chance of bullets here. You've got chance of spotties here today. You've got chance of bass here. You've got chance of pollock here. And you also got chance of smooth hound. So it's difficult you've got to pick what you're targeting. I mean, when we went fishing the other day, Joseph had a ray bait out for a spotted and he also had a place bait out. So he's gone for place today. He specifically, we've decided to come down here and both go for place. So with 2 rods out, that's what I always do. It's hard to because 9 times out of 10, I think to myself, I've got to pick a target and that's what I'll go for. So I'll go for a specimen spotty, I'll go for a specimen place, I'll go for a specimen smooth hound. Whatever I'm going for, I pick the species and I'll fish hard for it. Sometimes you'll miss out on other species. I mean, we could have been fishing yesterday with ragworm and caught nothing. Or we could have fished with sand deal and we could have had loads of rays. It's what you go for, isn't it? Obviously with 20 pound fluorocarbon I've got on, Joseph's gone for a bit heavier, so he's got a good chance of landing bigger fish of different species and stuff like that. He'll land bullets on that, he'll land a lot of different things, where I'm specifically targeting place and I've got fluorocarbon on. I've had spotties on fluorocarbon before. I've had thornbacks to £9 on that Azuri line off of B Sands. Absolutely phenomenal line. It's hard to get hold of now, but if you see any spools of it, especially the 25, I just nab them. I've got, how many have I got at home?
9.
Yeah, probably got 9 or 10 spools of it there, and I've got it in different poundage. I've got like smaller poundage for mullet in, I've got it on bigger poundage for place in, and I wouldn't go without it. I've got to be honest. I buy it by boxes in from America because I'm a big fan of it. I mean, there's different fluorocarbons, but I find that I've got the confidence in that not to let me down. But yeah, so what are you thinking, Joe? You feeling confident?
My first time here. I never go to catch a fish on my first time to a venue.
No?
No.
Well, I'm going to think a bit more confident than you. I think we'll have a place out of here today. I'm not going to say it's going to be big, but I think we'll have a fish out. And there's no reason why not. Obviously, we've got the wind against us a little bit with the side wind, but the baits are going out there. I mean, Joseph's just sat there not moving at the minute. So I'm just hoping there's a little bit of rough ground here. You will lose a little bit of gear, but at the end of the day, it's down to rewards as well. I mean, it's sort of like mixed ground in sand and that in between. We've seen some half decent place. We've not seen the absolute monsters down here, but we have seen some good early ones. So it's another one. At the end of the day, if we do strike gold, we'll probably keep the video back for a few weeks and stuff, just to be able to get on the mark and that, you know what I mean? because what'll happen is if we get strike goldie today, I'll put the video up this week, it come down midweek or towards the weekend, and it'll be absolutely rammed. And to be fair, these stretch of rocks, you'll get a few anglers on here. I would say you probably get 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. You probably get 7 or 8 at a push, but the lines and that, you want the movement, and we're using plain leads, rolling leads. So you obviously, with that going in the tide and stuff like that, especially on the bigger tides, it will pull around more. But it's just using your head a little bit, isn't it? It's good social media for people to find out where to fish and when to fish and where the fish are coming from. But at the same time, if you want to be on the fish and stuff like that, and you don't want the hassle of having to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to get down and wait for the mark and stuff, it's about obviously using your head a little bit, innit? But at the same time, with what we're doing, it's got to be about education, isn't it? So it's got to be about helping anglers and showing anglers what's what. So that's all part and parcel of it, really. But it's a lovely day, and I am going on. So let's get back to fishing. These Gomez handles are real sexy. I'm a big fan, I got to be honest. But that's the original Mark 1 Pen Fathom 15s. That's got a Chris Macy mag on it. Exactly the same there. Going up here now, see my my grips, customed by Joseph, matching as well down to the T, which I'm very happy with. Finished off with these nice little yellow trims. But here it is, the Century Eliminator T900 SGT. It's like Swedish colours, but yeah, the tips on them are absolutely phenomenal. You can see a boat out there in the background. A lot out there probably placing and stuff this time of year now. Out there for the early place, and I bet they get a few. There it is, the scaries out there, guys. You can see just in front of me now there, that's what I was talking about earlier on, Josie. You can see a rock cut coming out under. That's the sort of side I normally tend to go for the rays and stuff. And bullets and stuff like that, really. But it's a bit more cleaner to the left of that. It starts going grungier the more you go round. But yeah, we're here giving it a go. That's all we can do. Okay, folks, just going to bring the rods in now. Just to check the bait more than anything. Wow, it's not a good start. Not touched, completely not touched. So you see the running up and over is working fine. So back to the drawing board. Joseph, that bait's nuts here, look. Oh. So time to start again. Time to start again. So somewhere, I'm hoping it's in here. None of us has been touched. Joseph was stripped, sorry, and my bait weren't touched. So I don't know. One of them, innit? Just got to keep going, I suppose. But if I get my trace here a minute, bait one up quickly. Just chuck the worm. So I don't do the baiting needle every time, guys. I should do. I'm going to do it because it's lazy. It is neater. And it's called rushing to get a bait in the water. But I had a lot of nice comments this morning from you all regarding the place feature we done at Salcombe. I wasn't sure if it was going to be too long. me and Joseph discussed it because we thought bringing it into parts. But the trouble is, when I do it into parts, people seem not to carry on with it. But no, it's I was quite impressed with it, to be honest. I thought sort of like do a different process of it than what we normally do, and have a bit of chit chat, talk about life. I'm hoping you can't hear that wind, guys, because I'm going to turn that way, because we have concentrated trying to work on the sound a lot more. At the end of the day, when you're watching these videos, I know from previous, when you're watching a decent video and then you've got the sounds bad, it's just, it spoils it sometimes, doesn't it? Which you don't want. Nothing worse than sitting there and you know what I mean? It's just, it's hard, isn't it? There you go. So that's there like that now. I'm going to pull them into place like so. Bring them down. And there we have got it. Nice little bit of a tractor there. Hopefully that can see us a place out. I'm hoping. My towel is here. I need to get some of these from Nettie's again. These are lovely Sea Angler Ventures towel. This one's a waist towel. I've had it ages. But I'm not sure if they're still doing it or not, but it'd be sad if they're not, because they were doing some really quality towels and baiting towels and bits. It's all in there. Just gone for 2 straight rag on that cast now. Only downfall, cool bag in the shade, is when you're off the rocks here, sometimes I like to be able to dip the hook. Because if I dip the hook, it sort of like helps the worm in flight, because it's wet. And sometimes when you hit these, they blow, especially when we're trying to hit them to the horizon there. So I'm going to literally go down to the water and give it a quick dip. The other item of tackle I would recommend when you're doing this type of fishing, it's a decent pair of boots. I've got the Grubs ones on here at the moment. They're the snow line ankle. I've had them for ages, but they are a nice bit of kit. I feel the big one's a bit too much for what I'm doing here on the rocks. They're right for the beach and that. But I'm literally dipping that worm into the sea. Just a little drop. It just seems to help with when you're casting and stop the worm from blowing. So I normally try to do that if I can get down to the water every time. And if not, I tend to just tee off around the hook with a tiny bit of sand eel, black lug, crab, something like squid or something like that, just to bind it more than anything. But as you can see there now, they've got a little bit just dangling off in there on the worm from the hook point. So hopefully we can see a fish on this. Side wind as well, so it is quite hard to get to. But if you're casting into the wind slightly, I'm on it, huh? That's what we don't want. Out there, yeah, I see it now. We got Sammy out there. That is not a good sign, boys and girls. That is not a good sign. When you see seals out there, sometimes it's time to go home. Don't know if you can pick him up down there, but that's Sammy. I call him Sammy anyway, because he always seems to turn up when you don't want him to turn up as well. He's lovely to see. I've had him up on the rocks next to me while we've been fishing. He's actually literally come right up on those rocks down there. But I've had him down on that rock in front of me as well. But especially when you're feathering in the mackerel in the summer, he'll try chasing you. But so hopefully he goes around out towards a point and leaves us alone a little bit, because that will scare the fish off. Right, so I'm going to bring my other one in now. So tighten him up a little so he's set. important to try and keep that lead slightly tight. If it starts dropping back, just give it a couple of turns each time. Just you've got bite indication there. Especially with that wind blowing your line to the right, it's it can be quite challenging. We sort of knew that before I come down. First one gone. Nightmare. Jammed up. Gonna have to pull for the brake. There it goes. There it goes. First one's gone. As I said, sadly, when you're fishing for bomb leads here, it can get like that. But you've just got to keep at it. So what I normally do when I get in this position now, first thing I'll do is check my line. Okay, so I'm checking my line for any form of damage. Because 9 times out of 10, that'll go just in behind the leader, or it'll go just where the rocks it is. It can go anywhere really. That's what I'll check for as first thing. Then I'll do a spider hitch knot. So I'll just create a loop like so. Okay, just a loop. So you're literally putting it back over itself like that. You can do them as big as small as you want. Do them bigger to start with. Okay, so you've got the line back over itself like that. Then I'll do a little loop. I'll just loop it like that, like you would a shoelace, yeah? I'll pull that as tight as I can, small. Then I'll go around my finger once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, right? And then I'll go through the loop, what I've done at the beginning. And then I'll come once, twice, 3 times, 3 times a lady. Start that again. I might have to give myself a bit more room here now. So I've got a loop, lubricate, small loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, back like that, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, there it is, like that, pull in tight. Now I want to pull it in together, exactly the same with these, pull these evenly, and then just pull tight like that, yeah? So I'll just give me my knot then. Then I'll get a bit of scissors, like that. And I'll take the tag end off, okay? With this excess line, I've just put it in my little pouch here for the minute. What I'll do is, in a minute, I'll put that in with my rucksack with the rubbish bag. Shock leader. So I've got my loop set into place now. So basically all I'm going to do is go around both one and keep that hole with my finger around the both pots of the spinach 4 times, 3, 4, and then bring back through the loop again, exactly the same as we done really last time. There is videos on YouTube what I've done of the spider hitch knot, okay, and that is a spider hitch knot. You could literally do that anywhere, guys. It's really easy to do, and very strong as well. And it also gives you the opportunity, if you fill your reels up and you do lose out, you could do that a couple of times in a session without having to change your reels. So then what I'll do now, I'll go back to my rod, get the rod up like so, okay, and then I'll bring him down. Personally, I'll get where the leader goes around with a knot, I'll go once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, right? So I know that's 4 times around my reel, and then I'll come back down to the reel. So I've done that for casting. Because we're like literally hammering leads out there, it's got to be safety at all times, okay? So I'll know that that's going to take the power of the cast. Then what I'll do, got it, because that was my pulley rig, is literally come around like this, go once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, bring back in, lick, and then I'll get my lead and I'll pull back like that. All right, that's it set. Exactly the same again, line in the bit like that, put that down on the floor, got my excess line there, got my carrier bag, put the rubbish in like so. It's coming back out on my hands, but it will go in the bag, okay, like that. Rubbish is put away. It is that easy. There is no need to leave rubbish all over the place, there really is not. So I'm going to use a pulley dropper on this one, and I'm going to cast him out to the right. Okay, so that's that like that. So pulley dropper, never easy rig to use, and very simple to use and simple to build. You'd build it exactly the same way as a pulley rig. And I've just dropped my snood. I'll just grab my snood a minute. Snood, leader, whee, falling all over on the rocks. All right, so I'll clip him up a minute. So I use a breakaway clip when I'm making these, because it allows me to use that clip what's attached to my rig, and it works really well. Okay, so basically it's a pulley rig. They've got the 100-pound Gemini swivel there, got a rubber bead. I like your rubber beads. I get them, they're hard to get hold of, but if sometimes I've got to buy them from the co-op section, they just turn in dear, but a lot of manufacturers do the rubber beads. Okay, so that's like that. Then I've got the pulley rig what goes down there with a proper pulley from Breakaway, and this goes all the way down to the bottom. Now the only difference with the start of the pulley, where it would normally come off the top, I've got another 2 beads here. In between that, I've got a Gemini bent link clip, okay? And that's gone on to another 100-pound swivel from Gemini. On the bottom then, I've got an imp, and then I've got my lead. But the good thing about this, it'll come up to the top, it'll clip in like so, okay? And get around like that. It'll pull down, and then I'll just clip him down onto my rig like so, and then it'll just impact, fall down. It acts a bit like a running lead. I like to use them for turbot, really. The reason being, it's an instant pickup. I mean, you can set your drag and stuff like that to allow the fish to take off, but it also helps set the hook with the weight, because the fish will have to pull the weight. I find it a really good rig. A lot of people don't like it. I'm a big lover of it, if I'm honest. And I've had some really good fish over the years with the drop down rig. Rays, turbot. I actually caught my biggest turbot with it, and yeah. So we start again, exactly the same. I'm not going to use it now. I don't really need to use it because of just experience, but I like to show on camera because it can be tricky. The last thing you want to do is poke yourself in the finger with a hook. But I think it's just out of years of doing it, really. But I do tend just to use my 2 fingers to position it down. You just don't want to break the worm, because I prefer to use it like that, because I can judge when to pull stuff out as well then. But that's my first worm, okay, like so. And I'm just going to use 2 worms here today. Got my next bit. Whee! Okay, exactly the same. Just pull the rag down over the hook like that. You can use a bait needle, guys, and I would recommend, if anybody's new to doing this, just use a bait needle. Some of the older anglers were going, what are you doing, Webby? It's just exactly the same as Joseph. It's laziness, really. But that there goes down like that. Pull that down to the top of the beads, like so. There you go. And there it is. I'm going to tee that off now. I'm going to tee it off with a tiny bit of black. Okay, I've got the bait elastic there. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to put it over the hook like that, and I'm going to pull it back up the shank. Some people do this differently. I like to mix it in with a worm. How do you bait yours up? There's a question for you to answer on the channel. How do you bait yours up? What do you like to tee it off with? A lot of people do different stuff. My favourite's crab, because I just feel that all species love a bit of crab, don't they? But by helping doing that at the beginning, it gives you a bit of tractor still like that. But I just find it'll help keep that worm where I want it to be, if that makes sense. And it's got something around the hook shank, so if my worm does move, it's something there at all times. I think that's important, you know, when you're fishing. But I'll just wipe my hands off now. I'm going to walk down further this time and blast him out over the island into that cleaner ground out there, and hopefully we can see a fish out. Just said I had a bite on this one. Let's have a look then. That nightmare, Joe. Huh? Move that camera with me a minute. Nightmare. Look how strong that leader knot is. That's £20 main line. If you notice, I'm using glass tip there, but while I'm doing this glass tip, I'm just moving my reel rod back sideways. Look at the spring in that line. It'll go in a minute. Gone there now. Nightmare. I'm going to put a gripper on. Just for the simple fact, hopefully it'll stop me pulling into the rocks out there. I mean, I was lucky to get that one back, if I'm honest. It's quite snaggy out there today compared to, I haven't been down here for a few years. Don't know if any of you remember Roy the boy. If you're watching this, Roy, I was only talking about you today. He was a lovely old boy, which he used to come fishing with me, and when I was doing the guided stuff, and lovely guy, absolutely lovely guy. It's one of the reasons I stopped. Well, I personally stopped guiding. I get asked all the time and that, but the reason I stopped the guiding is because I just felt bad. I mean, you got the guys I used to take fishing. They were they turned into friends, you know what I mean? And I just felt wrong with charging people to go fishing, so I stopped doing it in the end. But he said to me one day, he said, Andy, he said, I really want to catch, I can't remember, what did he say he wanted to catch? A smooth hound, a plaice and a bullace. I said, yeah. I said, okay, mate. And he said, but I want to catch them from the rocks. So I said, yeah, no worries. So we brought him down here, and I said to him, travel light. He'll remember this session. Anyway, we come down here, he had the plaice, he had the smooth hound, and then right at the end of the session, he had the bullace. So he was all happy. But he brought loads and loads of gear, and I told him not to. So we went halfway back up the hill, and he couldn't make it. He's like, oh, I can't carry all this up. So I ended up carrying all of his gear. And I mean all of his gear. I'll tell you what, I got back up, and I was absolutely soaked. I'd never want to do that again. It's too much stuff to bring down, and I mean too much stuff. And actually to bring it back up as well. But it was a good old time. We had some good trips, me and Roy the boy. I call him Roy the boy, it's funny. We went for a mullet session. I'll tell you a funny story. We went for a mullet session, and I had a IMAX mullet rod. It was a lovely rod. It was twin tipped, and it was just a lovely rod. So you could use it for the finnies, and you could use it for the thick lips. So we went after the fin lips one night, and I'm on the bank at the back of Newton Abbot fishing away, and as I went to cast, the worm and hook got caught in the bushes to the right of me. So I went forward on the bank to step forward to like pull it back out, and as I did, the bank gave way underneath me. I ended up in the water. up there with mud, but I snapped the rod on the bank as I landed. Oh, it's funny. It was the first trip out with me. He didn't know what to do. He was he didn't cry, but he was laughing once he knew I was all right. But it was a funny old story, that. But we went, where did we go? We went to another mark in East Devon from the mullet one day, and I've never seen as many mullet as I've seen in my life, honestly. It was so many mullet. And then, yeah, we had a good old session down there. We had some good sessions. Chuck us a couple, yeah, I do, mate. Chuck us a couple of them, just chuck us one more. Lovely. But yeah, fixed lead now. But yeah, I ain't spoke to Roy the boy for a little while. If he's watching, Roy, because I know he used to watch all the stuff. See that? I've actually bent my hook out there then. So that's the hook what was doing that. So I'm going to show you what I normally do now with that. So I can't use that. If you can pick that up, it's bent right out. So what I'm going to have to do is pull that down. I have to cut that off, that hook. I'm going to put that back in there. Now, in my rig wallet, the joys of this rig, I have in the back here some hooks. So what I'll do is I'll take a hook out, like so. Chuck them back in there. How do I do that here? Right, you can see me do this now, and then what I do is I'll take the end with a pair of pliers right on the side there, and I'll just pull back on the thing like that, just to offset it. Okay, then I'll pull it around like that. Around like that. Nightmare. Might have to cut a bit of this line here. So pull that back up a minute, pull that. Trace has also got damaged. Start again. That's why it's so important checking your line, your traces and your knots and your leaders and rig bodies all the time, especially when you're rock fishing, because if you were to lose a fish for it, there's nothing worse. Trust me, I've been there. Okay. Pull that down now. Pull that up. Okay. Ooh, we have got a little bit of... That must have been loads of wear and tear going on the rock again. So what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to pull that up. Like so. Start again. See what I mean? I could have chucked that out twice then, I could have lost fish. I'll tell you what, it's quite far up as well. That might be alright. Let's try that. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Through the hoe. Pull down tight. There is loads. That seems alright now. Pull that around like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 times this time. Through the hoe. Like so. Back up through the hoe. Like so. There you go. Got there in the end. Okay. So, worm wise. Put that up there like that. Lovely, put that down. There you go. Bring that down like that. We got there. So I'm going to put the grip lead on this one now. Been a bit of a nightmare session. I've never lost that much gear here before. So it's making me think, because this mark here, guys, is a very good mark for the spurs. All right, I'll give you a tip there. You'll get some good spurs off here. You right down by B-sands and that in the rough conditions and stuff, nighttime fishing, you'll see the fish. All right, there's not. I wouldn't say. I'm not going to say you're not got a chance of British record, because you have got chance of British record anywhere around here. But it will throw up double-figured spurs. It will throw up big spotteds and bullets. So. There you go. But I don't know if people have been fishing down here with £20 line for those big spurs and that, and they've been caught around the rock. So it could be a case there's a lot of line snags out there, which is, at the moment, I've lost 2. So it could be the case of that. That one there just bent out then. So I don't know. It's one of them, innit? But you're sort of trial and error. If we keep losing gear, I won't muck around. We'll get back up the cliff and we'll move off somewhere else. I mean, it's one of the only unfortunate parts of this. If people come down and start fishing this ground and they're fishing it wrongly, you're gonna get that, aren't you? I mean, that used to be all clean sand out there. Now there's one spot in the middle which you'd got the chance of getting snagged up on, and one to the right. But normally you hit a bait out, a rolling lead out there, you just roll around in the sand. So yeah, crazy really. But let's get this out there anyway. So belted. That one there's just gone out there now. Yeah, I can feel chasing all up that as well, which isn't good. Isn't good. But good thing about it, I bought my other reels, so I think we're going to go off and fish somewhere else over high water. I mean, there's something out there. Yeah, hopefully you can see a fish out. Dinner time. It's not been the session been after so far. We've not included no much more footage than we did earlier on, guys, just because of the simple fact we haven't had no bites. But it's lunchtime, so I've got a Dairy Lee luncher. Don't know if anybody likes these, but they're banging. Makes your own little sandwiches up, which is good. So what I normally do, get a load of that cheese like that. 2 in the bottom. Couple bits of ham, like so. Cheese on the top. You got a miniature Big Mac. Why not? That's what I'm pretending it is anyway. Some divers out there to the left now. I think they're spearfishing. They'll be able to tell us if there's anything there or not anyway, won't they? I mean, Sammy the Seal was up to the left hand side of Joseph a minute ago. Things aren't looking good. I definitely think we're going to be changing scenery for the incoming tide. I mean, where we are at the moment, but rude that. Where we are at the moment, you've got horse sands and bee sands next to us, which, to be honest, as it comes up to high water, probably fancy my chances down there, if I'm honest. I mean, if we're getting down horse sands, we have enough room for me and Joseph to fish plain leads and just give it a couple of hours over the top of the tide. I mean, Sunday daytime, beak's been in the house, doesn't it? But yeah, I'm going to get back to me Dairy Lee anyway, luncher, and we'll catch up in a minute. Right, I'm going to try and get this one in. It goes to show, because I never used to lose no gear at all down here, and now we're losing gear left, right and centre just by getting snagged up straight away. So unfortunately, that's it for us down here, guys. We're going to go off to a different mark. But it goes to show how much the ground's changed, because I used to get away with it at distance, and we were still hitting them out where we need to be. And you would sort of like clear the rough ground. and get on the sand. But unfortunately today, you're just snagging up. I mean, I've gone a little bit more righter than Joseph. Joseph hadn't lost a rig all day, but I'm getting snagged left, right and centre. But crazy really, you just think, what's going on like? Yours coming back lovely, isn't they? Huh? Yeah, I don't know. So there he is. Oh, Sammy the seal. So guys, unfortunately, as you can see Sammy down here, look, he's just gone down to give a roly-poly, gone down to the depths. He'll come back up now. You never forget him because he's proper grey compared to some of those big bull seals you see. He'll come up here somewhere again now. There he is, Sammy! He'll play around now. Let's see if we can get him up to come and say hello. Is he going to come and say hello today or not? Probably the fish encouraging him. I've had him up on, as I said, I've had him on these rocks here before. Gone again now, isn't he? Hey, he don't want to play today, does he? Can't see him now, can you? No. Never mind. Back to fishing. So, I've moved up into the cleaner ground. I mean, where I used to fish, used to get away with it. But unfortunately, for some reason or not now, I'm just getting snagged left, right and centre. Joseph hadn't lost a rig yet. So, I've come over with Joseph to try and pull a fish out. I mean, we could move, and it's a possibility. But at the same time, we've still got a good chance of catching down here. We just got to try and go for it, haven't we? Yeah, right, guys, so they got some divers to the left-hand side of us, and he's just had a place on. They're spear fishing, so there's fish out there, but the seals, we had one right and one left then, so it's probably going to take a big part of it. But he's had a couple of fish there now. He's had a bass and a place. So we've got a chance of catching something. So we're going to stay put. But I haven't got much room to pendulum cast where I am. So I'm just basically going to do a layback cast and send them out. It's all right. So, she's gone left slightly then. You have Joseph got to put a bait out as well. First bite of the day. think it's snapped me, innit? Huh? Yeah, it's had me. It's stripped me completely. So it could be wrasse, it could be place, but definitely bites. What a start. Honestly guys, I can't believe that out in front there is so snaggy now. I mean, it's in theory it's killed the mark slightly there. I think it is people fishing it for rays and for bullets and that, and not using rotten bottoms, that right? And then obviously when my bomblet's coming around, it's caused artificial reefs, and that's the trouble with venues like that. You've got to be able to, you've got to know what's in front of you and fish it accordingly. As I said, the only reason we're fishing plain leads here, because it used to be all clear sand, especially where I was on the right hand side there as well. Sort of like, I knew Joseph wouldn't lose any gear, and if I lost one, it would be the odd one onto the side, but only if you got a fish on and it went right. But now it's Snag City out there, so it's one of them really, unfortunately. But it just moved off the left hand side here now, right in front, and bite straight away, so hopefully we can see a fish out. I'm going to go for something a bit different on this one now. See, I've bent that hook out as well, so that's not a good sign for a start. So I'm going to have to put a different hook on that, which isn't good. But I've got the hooks there somewhere. I'll put the hooks here, here we go. So, get a hook out. Scissors, wherever the scissors are, running it. What I tend to do with the hooks is put them back in. I'm going to put that into the bait bit, because when I get home and start going through it all and putting stuff in the bin, I can just simply put that straight into bin then. But I'm going to fish a crab bait on this next one. I don't know actually, I might go rag again. That was instant then. There you go. So, first bite of the session for me. Joseph, have you had any bites? Saying I had bites, I think I had fish on over there, but it's because it was that windy, you didn't get to see the bite. It sort of like calmed down over here on the left. Right, I'm going to use single worm, and I'm going to tee it off with a slight bit of black lug. Okay. That's what I'm tending to do here now. Then I'll get my bait elastic. What I need to do first, which I should have done before, is offset that hook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the worm down the hook slightly a minute. Hold the shank like that. And then basically just offset that just a touch. Okay. Just so I can pull that back down there now. And then what I can do is put that black lug over the top of that, get that down on the shank like so, and then get this bait elastic, okay, like that. And I can pull that worm right down there like so then. And that is all set up for hopefully that place. I'd love to get one today, guys, I really would, because we've come down to a mark which is going to be harder to get them from, but you got a chance of a real good one. So to be honest, as long as we see a place out of here today, I'm an happy man. That's all you can be. Okay, I had bites instantly then that time, so we can get another one now. So I was using a pulley dropper rig here, and I'm going to try. I don't want that wind to interfere, because the bite detection then was fantastic. So as long as I can get it over, I'm going to go left like this one. go here a little bit. Whip. That one's out. Straight away last time was instant. So I'm going to fish one rod for a minute. Got a bit of side wind, but it's not helping, so we're trying to keep our lines low. That last time was like bum, bum, bum. I felt it with the rod. I picked the rod up, hold it, I could feel it, dan, 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 dan. And this time here, a little bit of black lug on there as well was a rag. So I'm hoping it's enough to encourage it to snatch that black lug. Let's give this a go. It's gonna happen, isn't it? As soon as I start, go to cast, the wind picks up. Great. Fortunately, it is what it is. So I'm going to put this one here into this bay. Alright, so I might go up here a little bit. I might even get away with pendulum casting in here. That was nice. Very nice. So, put this on the tripod. And we're set. We are all set for fishing. So I've got a crab bait on one, and I've got a rag and black on the other. Hopefully that PLAICE will turn up. I'm not, guys, the trouble is, if I'm totally honest with you, the seals have come here. There's 2 seals. I never like seals when I'm fishing. It's, I don't know, it's just never, out of all my experience, I went to a mark many years ago, Ray Mark, got all the way down there, and I mean, it was a nightmare to get to. It's probably a 45-minute journey, and it's not that far, but it's how you got to get down and back up on. And got all the way down there, first cast out, went to turn around, put the other one. As I turn around, there's a seal there. Nothing all day. And what I've found over the years of experience, is you might as well pack up and go home, but you never do you? You're down here. Specifically, I think we're going to be in for a blank today. And nightmare. A couple of anglers have turned up on horse sands there, I can see. So, yeah. But B Sands looks like it's getting busy now. See a few beach buddies going up and along. I think high water definitely would be worth a shout, but we're here. We come all the way down here. It's a case of packing up, get up back up the cliff and going back and going down to one of the beaches, or we stick to our guns. And we don't like to be beaten. If we get beat, we get beat. But let's keep getting some baits in the water. fish master. We got a fish out. We got production. Hey! Not the best production, guys, but it's a dogfish. So I'll let Joseph show you off this first fish of the trip. Do you know what? I'm glad we got a fish. Because it's hard not putting nothing in, isn't it? But at least you got to show how hard it's been today. So it's a dogfish, guys, here, and it's hooked quite deep there, isn't it? But yeah, you'll get him. Tuck the sand deal. But these are what they call the pest of the sea. But a lot of people just starting off, it's a fish to catch, and they're quite easy to catch. I mean, Joseph are getting back now. Do you want a picture? Well done, mate. Well done. So I've been having a little play around here, okay, just to try and get a fish, and hopefully it can work. I'm trying to bulk up the top of the bait here now. Get that out of the way. All right, make it easier now. All right. Lovely. See that? So I've got a load of tractors on the bottom. Place to start going away. Get all the way up, and hopefully trying to eat it all up. But I'm just trying different things, guys. To be honest, just try and pull a fish out. There's no tension on the bottom there. He can play away all he likes, get up to the top end, and hopefully smash my rod tip over. So we'll get him in now. See if we can get another one out, hopefully this time of place. Whip. Right, good thing I've got my rigs back every time, so hopefully we're in a bit more cleaner ground there. I'll let that settle a minute. I'll get a bit more tension on the line just to put me right in connection with the lead. It's going to loop round a little bit with the wind, but can't do much more than that. Trouble, innit? Absolutely smashed. Absolutely smashed. We're getting baited up again now. So a lot of people tend to use like tennis racket banding and that for grips on your rods. Check this out. So what Joseph done for me, I seen it on his rods when we were fishing in Wales over Christmas. He's got a 150 pound shock leader and basically wound it around through, sticking it tape and just getting it in position. Then gone over with black masking tape, electrician tape, and then finished it off with a yellow band. And he's done it on top and bottom. I'll tell you what, it's so grippy, it's unreal, and it looks phenomenal. It looks really, really good. I am really, really impressed with it. But as I said, it's the cheapest chips to do, 150 pound shock leader and some tape. But it gives you all the grip you need, especially on those winter months. I mean, my hands aren't moving off that now. And a lot of people tend to do it with shrink tubing, but I do like it like that. It's a nice touch to the rod, especially when you're fishing in wet conditions and that for your rays and your cod in the winter and stuff like that on the rocks. It just enables you to get a good grip on your rod. So definitely worth a tip. So we're not stopping. It's been hard work today, guys, it really has. But as it goes to show, you can't have fish every day. I mean, we've had one dogfish between us. It's not been perfect, but we beat the blank. And it's a team effort, even if I have blanked. Yeah. But you can't win them all the time, but I am going to put the production up because a lot of hard work goes into doing these productions, especially filming wise and stuff. And you've got a fish to see, ain't you? So it's actually the same again. I'm going to get some rag out here. That bigger bait a minute ago seemed to pay off. So what I'm hoping, try and do another one like that. Lovely. It's been a long old day, guys. I mean, a long old day. I will put it on there for those that want to watch it with caution of how hard the day was. But you can't win them all. You can't win them all. Is it really worth it? I don't know about Joseph, but I've been like that about 5 hours now. I don't really want to know what to say to you guys. I mean, it's just been tough, real tough, and there's not a lot else we can really say about the matter. I mean, I'm just going to put straight blacks on now because I can. I don't know what else to do. I've literally tried everything here today, and I mean everything. The only thing we've got on our side at the moment, if I'm truly honest, is a simple fact that it's coming up to high water. So we've got the flooding tide, but that's the only thing we got on our side. But it just, sometimes you just got to know when you're beat, ain't you? And I think it was one of those times we should have moved earlier on. I think we should have gone back over to the beach, but we could have stayed and caught fish. And you're in the same spot, and you obviously sometimes you just got to commit, ain't you? Even though you know deep down inside. To be honest, more than anything, I thought I got to walk all the way back up the cliff. Then we got to drive all the way to the next mark, reset up for the sake of catching a few fish. So I don't know, but all I know is this is looking like a cod bait. Joseph, I don't know what to do here. I'm just going to go for it. It's what it is, isn't it? It's what it is. Right. So. Here we have Joseph, big squid bait. He's had enough of mucking around here now. And to be fair, I wish I'd done the same. I committed this morning. I just put place gear there, and I thought, you know what, it is all or nothing. And part of me's wishing now that I bought my my ray rigs, because I would just be putting sand dew out about roundabout now. As I said, you can't win them all. Footing. It's a laid back cast. Boom. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Look at him, look. We ain't catching nothing a day with him there. Just swimming around, not caring the world. Massive, isn't he? The trouble is, they're protected, aren't they? And they sort of like let them go everywhere. Especially now in like Devon area, the amount of seals what are there compared to what they used to be is probably unreal. But yeah, something's had a go at it, isn't they? Yeah, something's had a go at it. But exactly the same. The seals, especially like that now, like the team, what they've done to the team, they've just destroyed it. I mean, the amount of flounder and stuff like that, and they're big old lumps. Someone said the amount of ton they can eat in a day, I think it was, or something stupid. Each seal can like wipe out a ton of fish within, I don't know if it's each seal or like a couple of seals. I was told, I can't remember exact numbers now, but it goes to show because especially like today, we haven't had a fish, have we? And I reckon that's a big part of it. You know, look at him swimming on the water there. Look. It's mad to see. Fantastic creatures, but just a pain when you've gone fishing, isn't it? I don't know what else I can physically do. You know, it gets like that sometimes, doesn't it? But I think it's just a case of rag, isn't it? Just keep on supplying rag and hoping for the best. I sold some pen fathoms to a nice bloke, actually, Ian, and he lives in Exmouth. He does a little bit of fish. I think he's from Plymouth originally. He's a nice guy, and he must have sold them to someone, and someone's just phoned me to see what I had done to them because they're running quite quick. So I've said I'll have them back. He said he's selling them, so he's going to put them back for me, which is ideal because I should never have got rid of them. I do miss them. Speechless. Had a first place bite. Proper little flatty bite then. So I'm hoping that this will be it. Just need to get one out. That's all I want to see is just one flatty. I'm going to bring one in now. I'm going to bait up two big baits. I'm going to bring them both in, right? And then I'm going to sit on them. If I don't get a bite, really for me, that's the end of the day. I mean, we've given it our all. It hasn't paid off. That's fishing. You can't win them all, guys, can you? You can't win them all. But if every session was about catching, it'd be a lot better sport. Okay, so on this one here I'm going to put a crab bait on. I've got one crab left there, so why not? I'm not mucking around with it either. I'm just going to put a whole crab on. So I'm just going to take off all the hard shell like so. Right, and then basically I'm going to cut it in half, right, and then I'm going to feed this onto the hook, So I'm going to lay it up this way, like that, long ways. And then I'm going to get the bait elastic, like so. Just bring the bait elastic round, right, like that. Leaving that hook point proud. Okay. I'm not going to squish this up much because I want a lot of scent to come out of this. I mean, if there's a smooth hound out there, or a bass, or a place, something's going to smash that now. It's just been here a long day. I just want to see a fish out. I mean, there's nothing worse than blanking, is there? I know Joseph's had the dogfish out, and it's joint effort, but it's nice to get one out. All right, so that's that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to blast this one out towards B-sands. Let's get this out there going. So, get this around like that. I've got to drive to Exmouth after this. I'm going to pick some of my old reels back up. Do you know what? It's like it was meant to be, because I was only saying to Joseph the other day, I wish I never sold them. Luckily, they're running really fast, and I think the guy I sold them to, he likes motor poles, but he likes fixed spools as well. And he's obviously sold them to his mate. His mate sold them to someone else, and then the other guys sold them back to the shop. So the shop's got hold of me to see what I actually done to them, because they're running super quick. And I've said, look mate, I'll have them back. And he said he's selling them. So I was like, yeah, ideal. So the guy Ian, he's a nice guy, he's going to go over and pick him up. I'm going to go over his house and pick him up a bit later on. So got a bit of a long journey from here all the way to Exmouth, but it is what it is. I'm going to do something this time what I haven't done all day. I'm not going distance. I'm not going to hit it. There's a tide line there at the minute, right? And I would say it's about 70 yards out. I'm going to aim for that. That's what I'm going to aim for. I'm thumbing it. It's perfect. Exactly where I wanted to be. I'm just going to drop that in there now. Ideal. What's that on?
Daniel.
There is fish out there, just not that no place today, I don't think. As I said, it's still early, guys. They're not showing in numbers on B-sands yet. Yeah? He's looking like he's feeling it. Gone back to the baiting needle. He's undecided, Joseph, there at the minute. I can see him looking at his tip, feeling his rod, like, is it there or is it not? Okay. I'll put a bit of black on there as well, I think. There you go. So, fish?
Yeah.
I do. Got fish on, boys and girls. Keep him up. Bit of weight there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, better than a doggy.
I hope so.
Watch that rough ground, mate. You got to keep that tip right up there, mate. Get on, Joe. Boy on the rod today, he is. Boy on the rod today. Hopefully it's a ray.
What do you think?
Big dog. Go on, mate. Bring him to me. Keep coming. Lift him up. Go on, lift him up. There you go. One dogfish. sand deal bait. There is fish out there. Well in, boy. Well, it goes to show there's fish out there. It's just different baits. They don't want the place baits, they want the fish baits. And unfortunately, I'm fleecing. Squid bait for Joseph. Always got a chance of a doggy, always got a chance of a ray, always got a chance of a bullace, got a chance of an eel. I mean, my mate Adam was fishing Chesel one day and he had a massive place on a whole squid bait. So they will take things. Depends how hungry they are, don't they? But as you can see, Joseph there, he's wanted to catch a few fish today, which I don't blame him, to be fair. It's a long day about catching a few fish, so where I've like basically stuck to my guns, he's used his initiative and just put some small ray bait. So he's always got a chance of a ray down here. But as I said, I'm got to target in those big plays, so got to try and stick to your guns a little bit, and yeah. No one's talking about specimen hunting the other day. That's what you tend to see. A lot of non-movement tips, but at the same time, all it takes is that one slam over, and that's the fish you're after. Well, what can I say? It's not always fun and games with the angling adventures, and I am gonna put this production up, and because there's a lot of hard work will go into productions, and at the end of the day, guys, what people have got to understand when they're watching it, it's not always red letter days. We go out exactly the same as all of you, and we've got exactly the same chances as all of you. It's you go and put your bait in the water, anything can happen. And I don't feel disheartened at the minute. The time I feel disheartened is when we start walking back up towards the car, because at the moment, as long as the baits are still in the water, we've still got chance. And the way it's gone today, it's very little chance, but we've always got that chance. And between us, we've had 3 rods out all day for place, and Joseph's had a fish bait rod out there for rays and bits and pieces. He's managed to pull 2 dogfish in, which is nice because we've got 2 fish on camera. At the same time, they're dogfish, which it's one of them, you can't do much about it. But as I said, it's not always fun and glory. There's a lot of doom and destruction. It's probably the best way to put it. But it's been a nice day, guys. At the end of the day, we've been out, not working today. It's a day off. It's going to feel like it by the time I climb up that cliff later on. But no, it's been nice. It's a new mark for Joseph at the same time. It is a bit upsetting to see some of the states of the rock marks and stuff like that, because there's no need for people leaving rubbish, and I don't like to go on in that, but I think a lot of anglers will appreciate what I'm saying, because it doesn't take nothing to pick up all your gear. I mean, when we're about to leave in a minute, I'll put the camera up high and you can see what we do before we go. We get the carrier bag and we literally fill it with all the rubbish and stuff, and it's easy. I'll put it in the cool box, and then when we get home we chuck it in the bin, or if it's stinking, you don't want to take it home, there's lots of public bins and stuff around like that. You just go and chuck it in one of them, innit? But just don't leave it on the rocks. And no, it's just a shame. It is a shame. But it looks like there's a few anglers on B sands. There's no one on horse sands. I think we should have gone horse sands, really. Would have been a good shout. I know it's only there, but it's one of them, isn't it? I think the seals have played a big part in today, because a lot of anglers will come down over high water. I've done a lot better over low than I have high here, if I'm honest. Especially for rays and especially for bullace. But the place is exactly the same time. I think it's early still, so you're gonna have when you go out targeting early place, you're gonna have a lot of like blank sessions and stuff. But there's not a lot you can do about that. But we got prime bait with us. We got blacks, we got crab, we got rag, we've got sand deal, we had pilchards, we had a bit of everything really here today. So yeah, it's not all trophies all the time, unfortunately. But I'm going to bring these in a minute and give it another 5 minutes, and then we'll have a quick pack up and we'll head back up to the car. Right then, folks, so we're going to have a little tidy up a minute, get all our gear. I've picked up everybody else's gear, I mean, there's coffee wrappers down here. Joseph's having some line. There's a bait wrap here. I don't know what that is. It looks like bluey. So we'll chuck that in there as well. Then we got some rubbish here, rubbish there, rubbish there, rubbish there. There's some line there somewhere from who was left there thing. We've got some blacks which I'm going to take back with me. I've got some rag which I'm going to chuck in the sea because that's a couple of days old now. At the end of the day, worm baits and stuff like that, you're not really worried about here because the fish will eat it or the seagulls will eat it. Exactly the same as here now. We got some pilchard. So what I'll do is I come down to the water's edge, like so. Chuck it out, it's gone. You're not taking it home, it's not smelling nothing out. Rubbish. Cool bag, rubbish. Some blacks there as well, I'll keep them out. And then we've got the rag. So what I'll do with the rag, put the tea towel in there like that. And then I will basically take all the rag back in there, like so. Put that back in. Cover that up. That won't hurt in there. So we've got a rag for later on in the week. If I want to go out one night, got some fresh blacks there. If I want to go out in the night. So squid tentacles there, which I don't want. Chuck that in the sea. And then we've basically got bait and towel, which can go. Oh, I've got a load of rag here as well. It's not been put back in. Baits, leftover crab stuff. Chuck that in the sea. Black lug. Not really bothered that much about that because at the end of the day the birds will eat it, most of that. But no, that is pretty much it. I can put the towel in there then over the top. Got the two cool bags in like that. It's ready to go up. I'm a lot less with leads. So that's basically the rubbish done, guys. And how long's that took? Less than a couple of minutes. Chuck that in the hold all, like so. And we can literally take that back up with us and put it in the bin on the way home. It literally is job done. So I'm just basically scaling everything down now, getting everything put back in. Keep my scissors out for a minute. I've got my cap there, reels there, everything's ready to rock and roll. Got my drink, I'll need that for the way up, I know that for something. So we'll just start bringing these rods in now. Start with the first one. People ask me about changing my line. When I finish this session today, tomorrow night or something, I'll take all this, strip all this line off, and I will re-spool them. I mean, I've had a couple of snap-offs today anyway. I like my reels fully loaded. I find they'll cast better for a start, and if you do get a snap-off or anything like that, you can simply reattach a shock leader and you've got enough line to keep going on. But no, so I'll bring these down here now. So that's the first one done. What I'll do now, rod down, undo my rigs. Now I'm not gonna do what Joseph does. I'm a bit more tinier than that. He'll chuck all his rigs straight down in his bag and he'll probably make them. What I'll tend to do now is I'll cut off all this bait like so, and then when I get home, what I'll do is I'll put these hooks in fresh water. Depending on how damaged they are, either resharpen them or chuck them away. It all depends how damaged they are, really. Especially when using small hooks like that off rocks like that. And then it all depends on the trace line. If a trace line looks like it's been damaged at all, I'll take all the beads off and I'll redo them. But what I will do here is I'll call my rig up like so, because there's nothing wrong with the rig body at the same time. I've got my rig wallet then. What I can do is put in my rig wallet. I've got my droppers there like that, so I can literally put that there without the stinky bait on the end of it into the rig wallets. Honestly guys, if you're first starting off, rig wallets are something that you need to get straight away. I mean, it's just storing rigs. I know a lot of people at first will start buying rigs when they first started fishing, but you want to get in the habit of trying to make your own rigs. There's a lot of demonstration from different YouTubers and that online where you can get your rigs from, and they're pretty easy to make, if I'm honest. But one thing I do on these rods now is I'll carefully go through the eyes like so I'm not damaging the eyes. All right, and then it's just a case of reeling in. With your reels, 99.9 of you are already going to know this. Back off your drags on all your reels when you're storing them. All right. That way, then what I tend to do is when I get home, the first thing I'll do is I've got a tea towel which I'll put to the side of the sink. I'll run these over under cold water, and they'll stay intact again. I mean, salt water will just eat at them, if I'm honest with you. My shock leader from earlier on. Wind that up. Put that in. Got my reel bag again, which I use to store my multipliers in. So I can literally put that in there. I've got an old case for a 7HT, what I cover the other one with so it don't mark the reels. That's just me being a tart, really. A lot of people laugh at that. But guys, a lot of you probably turn the video off by now because this is like a lot of boring stuff to a lot of you. But for anybody first starting out, it's quite important, the sort of things you can get and look after your gear. So I'm going to bring this one here in now and then literally pack down. I can't believe the fish haven't played ball, really. As I said, it is early still. We could have come down and smashed it, but we didn't. It's just a case of undoing all your gear properly, scaling it down, and it just helps it to look after. I mean, when I first started fishing, it was like the Pen 525s and that then, but a lot of the reels weren't overly expensive. I mean, 70 quid, 80 quid for a multiplier. You'll pay a fortune now, and especially if you've got stuff which you can't get anymore, you need to look after it because it will last. Especially servicing them and stuff like that, but at the same time it's corrosion. I mean, salt water will kill your reels. I mean, you're constantly going out and stuff like that, just for the simple case of undoing your reels when you get back and then putting them under fresh water. It'll just keep the reels running nice and smooth. And to be fair, if I could have a choice out of a smooth running reel and a rubbish rod, or a decent rod and a rubbish reel, I'd go for the smooth reel every time. I mean, if you've got a smooth running reel, it will help you get extra distance. It'll help you maneuver fish, and it's just one of those things which will just keep everything running smoothly. So that rig there, I'm not going to be overly keen on because I've got to basically cut him apart when I get home. All right, so I've got all my reels and stuff. I've got my scissors, got everything else there, which I can basically put in there like so. And now I can bring these over the top. Help damaging your eyes, especially when you're paying out this sort of money for Century and stuff, guys. You want to be looking after them. It's a lot of money just to. When I was younger, I didn't care. Honestly, I would chuck them around left, right, and centre. I think as you get older now, you get appreciation for a little bit more. But I know a lot of guys. I mean, Joseph, come over here. Joseph's got a friend of his, haven't you?
I do.
What's his name?
Mr. Kane.
Mr. Kane. We'll call him Mr. Kane. He'll know where he is. What does he do with his reels? And we'll talk about the reels first, because these Saltigas are probably one of the Rolls Royce of fishing reels, aren't they, Joseph?
They're probably the most expensive reel you can buy
on the market. Probably cost you near enough 500 quid each. I don't like them personally. I feel they hold back too much compared to these. I've had them. They're really nice, but they do hold back too much for me. But having said that, a lot of anglers like to use them because of
the bling factor.
Bling factor, yeah. And yeah, what does he do with them?
Chucks them in the bucket in the back of his car.
Chucks them in the bucket in the back of his car. How do you feel about that?
Oh, it makes me sick.
Yeah. You got to look after stuff like that. I know people don't. Some people got the money just to, if they break, just to go and get new ones, haven't they? But a lot of people, especially people that save up a lot of money to go and get things and stuff, you've got to try and look after it a little bit, I suppose, haven't you? But no. What do you do with your gear then a minute ago, Joseph?
Dropped in the bottom of the bag.
That's definitely not what to do, guys. All right, don't go dropping it all in your bag. What do you do with your rigs?
Oh, they're in the bottom of the bag.
Brilliant.
I'll knock those up. We make it.
I said that a minute ago. But I've got my reels in there now. I've got my GoPro stuff. Woolly hat is coming right off because we've got an adventure going up that hill in a minute.
Not the day to be wearing 2 pairs of trousers and jumpers.
It's definitely not the day for that, Joseph, is it? It's not too bad, guys. Once you get up to the top, you can sort of walk straight up, and it's not too bad. Okay, so that's the rods all sorted. Put these in like so. So to get a rod carrier makes things a lot easier as well. I remember going through the stage of just carrying my rods and tripod in one hand. Definitely not needed when you're first starting out. I mean, all these little gadgets, they do help. And then the only thing I tend to do with my tripod, I keep the top one open, but just because it'll get in the way and just cause damage in the car. Don't want it to muck up the leather. Just literally tie him down like so. Bring him in like that. And then just plug him together like so. Lovely. One at the bottom. Somewhere like that, clip him together. That's the rod's pretty much ready to rock and roll. The only thing I've got to do up here now, I've got bait all over it, is I'll tie these up around like that. Okay, and then I'll clip them in like that. That's that done. Just a GoPro to put away now, guys, but what I would like to say to everybody, it's been a joyful day down on the South Devon rocks, targeting a few plaice and other bits and species. Joseph saved the day with a couple of fish, and we've got a long walk back up the hill now. But from all of us at Sea Angle Adventures, we look forward to seeing you again. Hopefully in the next episode we can see a few more fish. But at the end of the day, guys, as I said, specimen hunters, this is what they're going to put up with 80% of the time. You can't get into the big ones all the time. You've got to look for marks and stuff where you got to hold better fish. I mean, we could have come here today and got into a couple of 2-pounders. You know what I mean? You never know. You also could come down here and get into the smaller fish as well. It's all part of fishing, isn't it? But yeah, we look forward to seeing you both and all in another adventure.